this time.
Not hearing any, I move that we accept the minutes as written.
I'll second.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Tommy.
Yes. Next is hearing of public concerns, and I see no one that would be coming forward for that, so we'll move on. Next, we have an ordinance. So Lori, will you please number and read?
Ordinance number 42, 2016, an ordinance providing for the transfer of funds for the city of Bryan for the month ending November 30th, 2016. This is a transfer request of $500,000 from the 1% income tax fund to the 101 general fund for general spending purposes. A transfer of $50,000 from the 1% income tax fund to the 203 street department fund for general spending purposes. And a transfer of $350,000 from the 0.5% income tax fund to the 401 capital improvement fund for projects. Total amount of transfer requested, $900,000.
Any questions on this, council?
I move we accept the ordinance.
Suspend?
I'll second.
Keith,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Tommy.
Yes.
Oh, should we have suspended?
That was a suspension.
Okay.
Move to approve. I'll second.
Carrie,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Tommy.
Yes.
Thanks.
I jumped the gun.
Okay, next, we have another ordinance. So Lori, would you please number and read?
Ordinance number 43, 2016, an ordinance approving the editing and inclusion of certain ordinances as parts of the various component codes of the codified ordinances of the City of Bryan, State of Ohio, and conforming traffic and general offenses code provisions to the state law changes.
Okay, Rhonda, do you have any comments on that?
This is the annual update to the Bryan Municipal Code. It includes the tax law as we created last year, as well as the amendments that were required by the state, as well as the traffic code and other offenses that you see there contained in the ordinance.
I'll move that we suspend.
Second?
Rick,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Tommy.
Yes.
I'll move to adopt.
Second.
Judy,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Tommy.
Yes. Okay, number 5 is another ordinance. So Lori, please number and read.
Ordinance number 44, 2016, an ordinance authorizing the clerk treasurer to issue change order number 1 for the project known as 2016 Asphalt Program for completion of incidental purposes only.
Mr. Whelan?
Okay, we're about 99.9% complete. They've got a couple issues they need to address out here in the parking lot with a few bird baths, and I think they have a traffic loop that they need to install yet, but I don't see any reason to pursue liquidated damages with them because it didn't cost us any money for them to run over. So with that, I would request that you extend their completion date until December 1st. So I would request you suspend the rules and approve that.
The cones and everything that's out there, what's that
We've-
for?
This parking lot is so flat that by rights, we should have tore out all the curb islands and repaved it, because water used to stand in a lot of places out here in the parking lot anyways. But we've got an area over here on the east side of the lot that they're gonna cut the asphalt and put a drain on the south side of that curb island that's there. So there's a big area, probably half the size of this council chambers, that the water just goes and sits after a rain. They tried to fix it with putting a little more thin asphalt on, but all it is, it just pushed it into a bigger area. So
Gotcha.
we're just gonna extend a small 6-inch drain up and just pick up the water. And then they've got 2 other areas in the parking lot that were a little bit low when they paved them. And once it rained, they noticed it. So they're gonna go ahead and mill out a little bit and skim a little extra in there to try and fix those as well,
So is that an additional charge?
yeah, we'll take care of it. I've got a big quantity in there for 4-inch under drain. We're just gonna extend that farm tile a little farther, which will help dry out the subgrade as well, and then some of that extra surface water will go in. Like I said,
Okay.
it's an inch and a half of water in an area probably 20 by 40 or 20 by 50, so.
Gotcha.
But just a couple little incidentals they need to wrap up, so.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry about that, Council. Any questions on ordinance number 44?
I move to suspend.
Second?
Judy?
Yes.
Keith?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Tommy?
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Keith?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Tommy?
Yes. Okay, next is another ordinance, so Lori, would you please number and read?
Ordinance number 45, 2016, an ordinance authorizing the clerk treasurer to issue change order number 2 for the project known as 2016 curb replacement program.
This project is wrapped up and complete, and we're just going through the final invoices, and when we balanced out quantities, we see we can deduct $1,355.70. So with that, I would request you suspend the rules and authorize this deduct.
I like deduct. I move we suspend.
Second.
Keith?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Tommy?
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Keith?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Tommy?
Yes. Okay, next we have another ordinance, so Lori, will you please number and read?
Ordinance number 46, 2016, an ordinance authorizing the clerk treasurer to issue change order number 2 for the project known as Fountain Grove Drive Rehabilitation.
Same thing as the previous project. We had a few adds to add some extra topsoil to fill along the edges of the road and some extra seeding, and then we deducted some other items that weren't used. We had some additional lime that they thought they might use to have to stabilize the subbase, but it wasn't necessary. So by the time we balanced everything out, it is over a $20,000 deduct. And with that, it would bring the project to $565,000. And just so you know, this project was an Ohio Public Works funded project, that we will get $275,000 back towards that. And then Pulaski Township trustees also kicked in around $40,000 for their share of the asphalt on the south side of the road there as well. So it brings our project costs substantially down net that we'll actually have to pay out of our pocket. So just so you know, we're anticipating some reimbursements on that as well. But overall, very pleased with the project, and again, pleased that we came in under budget as well. So
What'd you say the state grant was?
$275,000. It was a 50/50 grant, up to $550,000 expensed.
Gotcha.
We still expensed $565,000, so we're able to
Right.
utilize that full $275. And we're processing the paperwork right now. We had to process this change order first, and then we can send the paperwork to the state to get our money coming back.
Okay,
$20,000 is quite a bit of money. Is that mostly materials that?
Yeah, essentially, it's not a lot of money in a $500,000, $600,000 project. You know, it's 3%, so it's 3% to me is incidental. If I come in and ask you for a 2 or 3% increase, I don't really consider it being a lot. But we did there was one area on that road that they thought they were gonna have to use lime to help stabilize the road. And I know, Judy, you went out there and you saw the process where they rototilled everything up, they infused powdered cement in, and then tilled it again. There were some areas that they thought that the subgrade was a little soft and had high moisture in it. They thought when they were designing it, of course, they did their core samples in April when everything was wet. So the consultant thought we were gonna have to add this lime in there to help wick some of the water out. When we actually did construction, we didn't need the lime, so I had $40,000 or $50,000, whatever it was in there, what the bid item was of lime sitting there that we did not need to utilize because the moisture, the optimum moisture dropped in the soil because it was later on in the season. So we had to have it in there to cover ourselves, so I didn't come to you guys looking red in the face saying, I need to ask for a $50,000 extra. So by the time we deleted it out, it balanced out for us, and we still came out ahead.
Never complaining when we're 20,000.
Absolutely.
And I have heard nothing but positive things about that
Yep.
road.
We'll see how it winters out. I know there will probably be a pothole or two that'll develop. I know there's gonna be, you could potentially have issues with the way we constructed it, but if it does work out well and the spot repairs in the spring are minimal, I wanna look into this for a few other streets that aren't curb and gutter that might need a full depth remediation and a little bit of widening. East-South Street was one that we had looked into, that, you know, a curb and gutter program would be huge down there, but if we could widen the street out and get rid of some of the ups and downs in there, you know, that's a potential possible outcome as well. And it scores high with Ohio Public Works rankings as well. So it's a good project to try and apply for some grant funds next year for the 2018 construction cycle. So we'll see how it works out.
I must also tell you, South Beach is nice and smooth too,
Perfect.
what you finished up on.
We stopped
there.
just short of your house, didn't we?
Yep.
Well, I move that we suspend.
I'll second.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Tommy.
Yes.
Move to approve.
Second?
Carrie,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Tommy.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, next we have a resolution. So Lori, please number and read.
Resolution number 28, 2016, a resolution authorizing the clerk treasurer to advertise for bids for the project known as 2016 miscellaneous sewer project.
Well, it's the end of the year, and I want to spend some money I got left. Typically, we try and bid a project late in the year, and we look at the size based on what the excess funds looks like. We're going to do some storm and sanitary work in the 200 block of North Walnut, do some other west of North Main Street, and a little more storm drainage on East Wilson Street. We're budgeting around $200,000 for it, and I've got plenty of money left in my budget to take care of that, already line item for that. So we should receive bids the Wednesday after Thanksgiving, so your first meeting in December will have a recommendation for award or rejection of this project, as well as the training center bridge. We'll have those bids in as well the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So the first meeting in December, we'll be able to award both of these and proceed and have everything wrapped up to not hurt Lori's budget planning and whatnot. So with that, I would request you suspend the rules and allow me to advertise for bids.
I'll make the motion to suspend.
Second?
Judy,
Yes.
Keith,
Yeah.
Carrie,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Tommy.
Yes.
I move to adopt.
Second.
Rick,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Tommy.
Yes.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, next we have on the agenda is hire police reserve personnel.
Evening,
Chief
Council.
Willis.
Jared McCann has applied to our police reserve. Jared is currently going through his basic police academy. He is a full-time firefighter with the city, and I believe he'd be a very good officer with our reserve unit. At this time, I would like to ask council to approve the recommendation that Jared be appointed to our reserve officer status with the Bryan Police Department. This will be effective November 8th, 2016.
I move we accept this recommendation.
I'll second.
Keith,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Tommy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have employee status change in the recycling department, and Mr. Engstrom.
Good evening.
Evening, sir.
I am requesting to reclassify or promote Mark Sponsler to the position of Recycling Center Supervisor. Mark's been with the recycling department since 1997, and he will be on a 6-month probation.
Move that we approve.
I'll second.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Tommy.
Yes.
Thank you. And with that, it's not on the agenda, but I'd like to post the position for a vehicle operator at the recycling center. Because we're still missing one person since Mike left. Mark moved up in the department, so there's still one person missing.
Is there any particular reason it's not on the agenda, just because it all
It-
happened within a few days?
It's
I didn't
just an
think about
overlook-
doing it until
overview.
after we sent the
Overlook.
agendas out.
We are coming to the end of the year, and I don't wanna get ahead, and we gotta set salary schedules and so forth, and that might make a difference what an individual makes, but it's okay to get it posted and get it out in front, so we'll be able to fill that. We're not gonna maybe jump out and fill it right at the moment, but, that'll give us time to set salary to that based on what we do with negotiations and everything else. So, at least we can get it out to the people.
I'll move that we approve the posting for that position.
I'll second it.
Rick,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Tommy.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Next, we have a liquor license application here, or transfer, I guess,
Yeah,
Mayor?
yeah, this is for the new marathon uptown known as Phil's One Stop. And as you know, they had trouble before trying to get a license. They did receive one, which was a D1 and D2 license, which they were going to bring to council. And Mr. Carper and I had a discussion of that, and that's the only one that was available at that time. A D1 and a D2 means that they can sell beer and wine at their carryout, as other ones do, but they can also have an open container. And we felt that the problems we had up there before with what was going into, that would never pass in that area. In other words, it could turn into another bar to a certain extent. So I did appreciate him coming forward. Then with the transfers of the other licenses, here, we had a couple that were blocking this one. That was done at the last couple meetings, the council has done that. So what he's applying to be, is a Trex license. He's actually getting it from Toledo, Sylvania, and transferring it into Bryan. And that will make, Trex is something that would make him economically competitive with all the other carryouts in town. All the other carryouts in town have, gas stations have beer and wine and so forth, so he'd fall under the same procedures, under the control of the liquor board. If there's any problems, they would have that. So it's up to the council whether they would want a hearing on that or not have a hearing on that.
In a locality, isn't there only so many licenses available? So,
That-
but they're able to bring them in from other
Yes,
localities?
yeah, if it's an economic thing to be competitive, they're able to do that. We have so many licenses. And actually, if there was one blocking that, this was approved by the state, if there was one blocking that, if you go online and read what a Trex is, that would void this particular one. So the state has approved this up to this point. So it's up to council whether they would want a hearing, and that hearing can be done either at the county seat or in Columbus, or if you don't want a hearing on this issue, that would be up to council.
What would the benefits of a hearing do? What would that-
People would come forward if they did not want that. They'd have to have a good reason why. I would say with all the other carryouts having beer and wine, they'd have to have a real good reason why not to have that, but at least gives them an opportunity. I've never been through a hearing, so, of this caliber, so I don't know this particular thing. It-
Could one of the other carryouts request a hearing and then they'd have to go through with it?
No, it's up to council.
It's up to
require-
council
yes,
only.
to determine that, yeah. And I do, did respect at first, I would never have signed. You had to sign that it would be an economic competitive situation. I refused to sign before because I didn't feel that was being done right. And then when he brought that D1, D2 in to me and said, I don't want this, he had that in his hand. And that would have been well, any license you approve has to have you have the choice of whether you want a hearing or not. You had to do that for a lot of them that were near the school, all the restaurants and everything comes in, you have the choice of whether you want to do that or not. It would not be an advantage to, or would be a disadvantage to that station if it wasn't competitive with the other carryouts.
What are we looking for here? Whether we want to have a hearing? or-
Yes.
Okay.
You either have a hearing or not have a hearing.
Just like those other ones, the current ones that we have, when their license come up to renew and all this and that,
Oh, okay.
we just say, I want a hearing, and then if we do, then, you know, the police has to investigate it and go back that way, and so, we haven't had, we haven't had any issues with any other carryouts or anything like that, bars, and so that, there wouldn't be a need for any hearing if we've been having some real issues. We check with the police department if we've had issues with a carryout or a bar or something like that, then we can request a hearing in that effect. I think I'm pretty much saying that right.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any need for the hearing, so do you need that in the form of a motion? I move that we do not have a hearing regarding this license.
I'll second it.
Rick,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Tommy.
Yes. Okay. Alrighty, that is all that's on the agenda. I'll go around the room, after which time we'll take a short recess, and we are gonna go in executive session for appointment and employment of personnel. So, Chief Willis, anything? Chief Siders? Mr. Whelan? Mr. Engstrom? Mr. Leroy? Alrighty, Mr. Dominic? Alrighty, Miss Judy?
The only thing I would say is if you haven't already done so, please vote.
Miss Carrie?
I'm gonna ditto that, because we all know I really like election night, so make sure you get to the polls. They open, I think, at 6:30? Yes? Oh, Max, thank you. Yep,
AM.
AM. I will not, Keith and I will not be there at 6:30 AM.
It goes to 6:30 PM,
7:30.
7:30.
7:30 PM.
Anything, Rick?
Nope, nothing tonight.
Alright, Mr.
Nothing
Keith?
from me.
Alright. Miss Lori?
No, sir.
Miss Rhonda? Alrighty, Mayor?
A reminder, I told you when Halloween was here and clear back, 4th of July, wouldn't be too long to Thanksgiving. Well, it's coming. City offices will be closed November 24th, that's Thanksgiving Day, and also Friday, November 25th, in observance of Thanksgiving. Thursday, there'll be no trash pickup, but Thursday and Friday's trash will be picked up on Friday. Thursdays and Fridays' trash will be picked up together on Friday.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. I have nothing. Thanks a lot for coming, and like I say, we'll take a short recess and then go into executive session. Thank you.